Basically, we're here to discuss two incidences that have occurred in the last 4 days where we've had in-custody deaths. The first incident occurred on the 1st at approximately 6 o'clock in the downtown area command, where we had officers responding to a call in reference to a fight and a man with a knife. When the officers arrived, they were able to identify the individual. The officers approached the individual and attempted doing a pat-down search because the original call was a man with a knife, and we believe that he was the individual described with the knife. Immediately upon that, the individual became erratic, making loud noises and flailing about. There was an officer in close proximity to him, was able to basically hug him, put him in a bear hug type situation, and they went to the ground. There were several officers there immediately, so they were each able to take an arm and a leg, and they were able to rapidly subdue him, get his hands behind his back and get him handcuffed, and then set back up again. And medical was called to the scene to check on his welfare. At the arrival of medical, it was determined that the individual was not breathing. He was subsequently administered to by medical, transported to a local facility, and he passed away. The coroner's preliminary report on that incident showed that the individual had no kind of trauma to him. He possibly had underlying medical conditions that directly related to his passing. On the second event, which occurred on November 4th, officers responded to a residence in reference to supporting a Nevada social worker. An individual was described as being off of his medications, acting in an erratic manner, and possibly had done some things inside the residence that could have been dangerous, such as opening gas lines, causing a fire hazard. Officers responded to that situation. They engaged in a substantially long mediation with the individual, attempting to get him to come out of the residence. Almost an hour's time passed. The individual refused to come out. Once again, the officers, fearing for the safety of the neighborhood and the individual, were able to find an unlocked door. They went into the residence. A physical altercation ensued. The subject, again, was subdued. The use of a lateral vascular neck restraint was used. The individual was then they were able to handcuff him. The lateral vascular neck restraint, that is a technique that's taught through the department. There's no weapon used. It's not a choke. It's a method to incapacitate an individual for a short period of time without doing permanent injury to them. Medical had been standing by. They immediately responded. It was found that the individual was not breathing, and he was transported to a local medical facility and pronounced. That autopsy has also been conducted, and once again it looks like that there was underlying medical conditions on that individual. Both of these individuals, it should be noted, were extremely heavy-set individuals, and we're waiting for toxicology from both of the coroner's reports to come back to do a final determination of death. There are open investigations on both of these incidences, and the officers are on paid administrative leave until a determination is going to be made from the coroner's office in reference to whether or not a coroner's inquest will be conducted on this. There are 5 officers, 4 officers and 1 sergeant on the first event, and there are 4 officers, I believe, on the second event. They're on administrative leave.
Thank you very much, Captain.